Hey guys, welcome back to our F1 2019 career mode. We're on to round 3, the Chinese Grand Prix. So if you've missed the first 2 episodes, then let me fill you in. We've had a 7th and an 8th so far, which is a pretty successful start considering we're in a McLaren, which started out as the 3rd worst car on the grid. This weekend we've managed to bring 3 updates to the car, which fires us up the grid to the 6th best car. The success of the past 2 weekends has also given us a nice amount of resource points to further enhance the car. I think we're going to spend some more on power and give us a major boost in the chassis department as well. Hopefully none of these fail again like last week. All our parts of our engine are looking pretty decent. They should do after just 2 races, so no changes need to be made here for now.
Okay, decent lap there, but there's
Practice
still more to
was
find. Keep at
okay.
it.
I enjoy this track quite a lot, it's just a mix of everything really. Each sector is different. Sector 1 has the unique horseshoe of turns 1 and 2 and 3, while Sector 2 has a few fast left and rights, similar to Maggots and Beckett's at Silverstone. And then you have the super long straight in Sector 3. So this circuit can't really be categorised as a power or chassis circuit, it's a bit of both really. Me and Katie actually attended this race at the start of this season, which we'll be making a video about soon to share our experience. If you haven't been, then you'll be surprised about some of the things we reveal about this circuit. But the one thing that struck me the most is the beauty of the start-finish complex. It looks good on TV, but when you're actually there, it's actually huge. It rises above most of Shanghai and can be seen from miles away. I'll save the rest of our experience for another time though. So focusing back on this weekend, we only managed to get comprehensive running in practice 1, as the weather played a bit of a part in the other 2 sessions, so I only managed to get 3 programs completed, so I didn't maximise my resource points this weekend. For the first time this season, I'm not really feeling very comfortable with the car so far, so we're going into qualifying a little blind, to be honest.
Welcome to Shanghai, China, for what I've no doubt is going to be a fantastic F1 qualifying session. When it comes to getting lap time out of this circuit, it's traditionally been about maximising top speed. Do you simply remove as much downforce as possible, hang on into the corners and max out down the straights?
The teams will have arrived with all manner of parts designed to capitalise on the long straights. The cars will be that much harder to drive in the corners, but everyone will be in the same boat.
Okay, so here goes our qualifying lap, and there goes Lewis Hamilton. We don't need to worry about him. Turn 1, carry as much speed as you can before shuffling down the gears slowly and trail braking to turn 2. Second gear through there and into turn 3. Don't be too greedy on the power through the exit or you'll soon be facing the wrong way. Travel through the gears on your way to turn 4. Brake hard on the 100 metre board. Don't take too much curb here, you'll lose time. Turns 5 and 6 are fast, carry lots of speed through 5. Then scrub off a bit for turn 6. Make sure you make your way back over to the right hand side for the slow corner of turn 7. Be patient through here, don't get on the power too early or you'll be wide in turn 8. And you make your way down the short straight on your way to turn 9. Spot your braking point on the right hand side and use the inside curb. Then coast your way into turn 10, feather the throttle all the way through until the exit of turn 11. You need to get this right, otherwise you'll lose all the way down to the tight hairpin of turn 12. Time to catch your breath after a busy first 2 sectors. Open your DRS if you have the option to. On race day this is a prime spot for overtaking, but this is qualifying, so get ready for the crucial last 2 corners. Nail your braking point and don't lock your brakes, otherwise all your good work will be undone. Don't floor the throttle on the exit, the car won't like that. Come over to the right for the last corner lap. The runoff can be used to your advantage, there'll be no penalty for that. Duck back underneath the start-finish complex and finish your lap. That'll be in 9th place, a brilliant result. So it's the first pole of the season for Mercedes, with Verstappen splitting the both of them, albeit half a second back from Hamilton. The 2 Ferraris can't keep up through the first 2 sectors, meaning they're down in 4th and 5th. Meanwhile, we've managed to qualify ahead of Norris by the slimmest of margins, 0.06 of a second. We'll dive straight into the race now. Welcome to China and round 3 of the 2019 Formula 1 season. I think we're going to be in for a good race today as the fast starting Max Verstappen splits the two Mercedes, so I don't think Lewis will have it all his own way as he did in Bahrain. A quick look at the Shanghai circuit then. 3.3 miles and 16 turns will equal a lap today, and there will be 28 of them, meaning that the driver that does 92.4 miles in the fastest time will be our winner today. So without further ado, let's jump into the
We're in a very
highlights.
good position today. Let's see if we can do even better in the race.
Can Max Verstappen make it 3 different teams to win in 3 races? Can the Ferraris make up for a bad qualifying? Let's find out. Great start from Verstappen, exact opposite for us as we get overtaken by our teammate and then come under pressure from the Haas. We managed to keep that position, but then Hulkenberg comes steaming down the inside in turns 1 and 2. Meanwhile, Verstappen leads the field, exactly what the race needed. Heading to turn 3 now, and it's going to be 3 wide. We make serious contact with Norris, hanging Nico out to dry in the process. The team won't want us doing that too often. And look at the Ferraris going wheel to wheel down into turn 4. Vettel comes out the worst there, and Leclerc leads his teammate. Meanwhile, you've got Ricciardo going up the inside of a Red Bull. Daniel Ricciardo and Pierre Gasly going at it. Did Renault think they could be doing this in round 3? I don't think they could have. But Ricciardo has to fall back for now. And Verstappen leads the field. So Verstappen, Hamilton, Bottas, Leclerc, Vettel is your top 5 after half of the first lap. But Daniel Ricciardo is looking menacing behind that Red Bull. And then you've got us a couple of places back behind the Haas, but we've got Norris right on our tail, and he's going to make a move, I think, down into the hairpin. We've had to go defensive, and Norris goes down the outside. Is he going to make it? I don't think he's going to have the position after that corner, and he's not. We've managed to keep hold of that. Good defending from us, but it's been a scrappy first lap between the two McLarens. Everyone will be crossing their fingers back in the McLaren garage, hoping not to see a repeat. And as you can see, there's a gap starting to form between the Haas and the McLarens as consequence, as we watch Vettel fly into turn 1, still behind his teammate. At the front, Verstappen is neither creating a gap or being attacked by the Mercedes at the moment. This gap is just about breathable. However, it looks like a train is about to pull up behind him, consisting of 2 Ferraris and 2 Mercedes. At some point over the last lap, it seems Norris has found his way past us. And Hulkenberg looks like he's about to follow suit. Same engine shoes between the two of us, but Nico has more power and breezes past us. That Renault is looking mighty. Can he catch Norris too? A couple of light years ahead now, and we find Ricciardo, who was having fun with Gasly a couple of laps ago, has been brought back down to earth by the presence of Magnussen as he watches his former team get further away from him. As we go on board with Lewis Hamilton now in 2nd place, we know that Mercedes has more power than the Honda engine, but he seems to be just too far back on this lap. Breaking into the hairpin now, we can see just how much time he's gained on the straight. If he can keep this gap next time around, then I can see him taking the lead here. Hamilton might have other problems to deal with first though, because even a small mistake from him would see Bottas, Leclerc and Vettel past him. Look at this! Hulkenberg has caught Norris, and he's brought us along for the ride too. You have to be very delicate on the throttle through here before you get on the power, and it's really difficult in a situation like this where you're desperate to get on the power before your arrival. I'll tell you what though, Nico Hulkenberg has all the power he needs. He didn't even need DRS to pull off this move. McLaren have serious work to do on their power unit. Behind that scrap, we dive into the pit lane for our pit stop. Looks like we've taken the first stop of the race, or at least one of the first, which will drop us back to the back of the field for now. But it'll allow us to run some clean and consistent laps to try and gain an undercut. Well, the front looks a lot more congested now though as they enter sector 3. Verstappen could come under attack here. Onto the back straight, and Hamilton is already gaining. On board we go. This is not the angle we want to be seeing. Verstappen's front. No, he's not. He's behind us now. Lewis Hamilton takes the lead. Oh, there goes Bottas too. Locks up. So close to taking out his teammate. Does make contact with Verstappen, but no harm done. And just like that, it's a Mercedes 1-2. Only briefly though, as Bottas enters the pits with Verstappen in his tail and Vettel as well. It's now a battle at the pit crews for track position. And Verstappen goes onto the medium tyres. Oh, he has to be held! The Renault dives into the box ahead of him. Oh, this is going to cost him dearly as both Mercedes and the Ferrari come out ahead of him. Quite a gap too. Further back, Ricciardo's also managed to create a bit of a gap to Magnussen in the pit lane, who comes out just ahead of us. No, wait, behind us. Great move down the inside on the run to turn 2. The undercut has worked to perfection. Norris has also been caught out by my undercut, and we will now try to get Magnussen behind both McLarens. The problem the former leaders are faced with though is negotiating through the traffic. They've all pitted early, so anything could happen here. As Bottas chases down the Williams, he sees Hamilton rejoin the track. That's net first place for Bottas as Lewis rejoins just behind him. There was only about half a second in it. He'll have to pass on track again, and not just one car. He won't have a power advantage this time as he did with Verstappen. Joy for Bottas, but in the distance you can see our former race leader Max Verstappen. After a poor pit stop, he finds himself at the back of this big pack with a lot of work to do, even behind his teammate Pierre Gasly, who's not had a big part to play in this race so far. But Bottas needs to clear this Williams before the back straight. Otherwise he'll be giving Hamilton a big chance of passing him. But there's nowhere to pass through here. He's going to have to wait until the short straight that leads into the last sector. It's now or never for Bottas. That's not what we wanted to see, Mr. Cameraman. In the background we can see Hamilton going around the outside. Would have been nice to see what happened there, but I can confirm that Hamilton passed Bottas. And now can chase down these guys who are only one stopping, so legitimately lead the race. So the order is currently Hulkenberg, Perez, Butler, who have both come out of nowhere, may I add, Albon and then Kvyat. It's a crazy top 5, but the big boys will be coming at them fast. Can any of them hold on? And this is Nico Hulkenberg. He's driving a superb race so far. Dispatched the McLarens emphatically early on and now leads by a few seconds. Never had a podium in Formula 1. Some say the most underrated driver on the grid. Can he prove the doubters wrong and finally deliver? Well, a race win even. From the leader to Lando Norris in last place, due to being the last of the early stoppers. Ahead of him is Magnussen and then us, keeping Danny Rick in our sights. Now Verstappen here needs to start making some moves. Mercedes are already way out of sight, and if he doesn't hurry up, Ferrari will be too. The Alfa Romeo is quick in a straight line, but the Red Bull should have more than enough speed to conquer it. He doesn't manage to make the move, and that could cause trouble here as this allowed Ricciardo and myself to close up dramatically. This could cause mayhem into the hairpin. I can see us all arriving at the same time. Verstappen opens his DRS and goes to the overtake, but he's boxed in. Instead, Daniel Ricciardo makes the move of the race and overtakes both Max Verstappen and Antonio Giovinazzi. Verstappen's day goes from bad to worse. The Red Bull can't even get close to the Alfa on the next straight, and he might be looking at me behind him soon. So Ricciardo, who started this race on the attack, is back on the front foot again. His next targets, the sister Red Bull and the Ferrari of Vettel. That is what he signed up for when he joined Renault. And Verstappen could lose out again here. Yes, we've managed to sneak up the inside of a corner where overtaking is a rarity. Now it's our turn to try and pass the Alfa. We've managed to touch our front wing on. This could give Max a run on us and we could lose the position as quickly as we gained it. The power of the Renault engine and the McLaren just isn't up to scratch as I watch the Alfa pull away from us and Verstappen finally makes up a place. Before losing out to Magnussen. One step forward and one step back from Max. Great move by the Haas. We can see the Ferrari entering the final corner now, and Max will be getting very frustrated in that car after such a promising start. And again, Max cannot make no impression on the cars ahead down the pit straight. He closes up significantly, but it all unravels later on in the lap. Behind us you can see Lando Norris itching to get involved. There's always a downside to getting involved in other people's battles. And Giovinazzi has to go defensive to Magnussen. And that means Verstappen can sneak up the inside. But wait, Magnussen still has the high ground. Verstappen will have to go around the outside, but he's getting held up by the Alfa in front, giving Kevin the inside line for the slow corners. And that is what sees him keep the place. And we're slow on the exit. Look at this. Lando Norris is going to sling one up the inside here. And it's going to be 3 wide into the corner. Us, Norris and Verstappen going out as we fight for pole position down the long straight. Norris has to back off and we go around the outside of Verstappen. Incredible. Don't count your chickens yet though, we've seen how slow the McLaren power unit is. And just as I say that, Verstappen's sails past before the DRS zone is even in the same postcode. And we're forced to duck back into the slipstream to try and defend from Norris, who manages to send another one up the inside, but we're going to be too much later on the brakes. Just miss Verstappen and take a wider line through the hairpin. It's side by side again from McLaren's, but we have the inside line for the last corner. Cut the curb a little bit, but stay ahead for now. Although we've kept that position, the bigger picture is not looking good right now. As Magnussen makes a move on Giovinazzi, Gasly has managed to get to the front of this little group with Vettel in pursuit behind Grosjean. It seems like Leclerc and the two Mercs have broken clear. We're just over halfway through the race and the McLarens are dead last, albeit a few cars ahead have stops to make. We were hoping for a top 10 finish, that's not looking likely right now. So on board with Leclerc then, that's Albon ahead. The early stoppers starting to slice through the leaders now as predicted. Hulkenberg will surely be under pressure from Hamilton soon, and here he is. So he hasn't caught the racing points yet. The Renault still has a nice buffer, but does he have to stop again? I think he might do. If he doesn't, then he still has a good chance depending on how long he takes the Silver Arrows to pass the pink cars. They have the same engine, but I expect Lewis will breeze past when he gets there, which won't be long now. As Norris has another go, but we run him out of road this time. And Verstappen is still behind Giovinazzi. His race looks run to me. Too much time has been lost, and if you look ahead of that, Magnussen has now passed both Williams. He's doing what Verstappen can't, making great progress through the field. Next up is his teammate Grosjean. He's right on Ricciardo's gearbox, who's on Vettel's. The Honey Badger will be pleased with his race so far. He's been mixing it with the big boys. However, it seems his power unit is keeping him from making the moves on them. Further behind, Verstappen has finally ditched the Alpha, but we've managed to get past somewhere, and the Williams are now coming under pressure from both of us. I lose that to all involved, but then go super deep to the brake and to a hairpin up the inside, but Verstappen hangs it around the outside and keeps the position. Wow, what a race so far. On board with us now, and the Williams ahead dives into the pits. A few late stops will come along now. Will one be for Hulkenberg? We definitely don't need to stop again, but on board with me you can see just how slow we are in a straight line compared to the Honda in front. I'll definitely be spending some resource points on the power unit this weekend. Hopefully by the next 2 weekends we'll be more competitive down the straights. Surely by the end of this lap though, the Williams will have to give up that position to well, at least Verstappen and maybe me too. Verstappen will have his eyes on the Haas ahead. Oh, he goes for a look, Verstappen, but just not quite close enough. Another little look, but he's had to... And we're going to try up the inside, but no, we touch a little bit but get away with it. But Verstappen will want to get past that Williams as quick as possible. Otherwise it will be on his backside very soon. And he won't want to see the Haas ahead get away as well. On board with Verstappen now. It looks almost pedestrian through there. Look how close we've got because of how much he's been held up by the Williams. Surely, and he's going to go down the inside on the way down to the start of the third section. He's gone around the inside, and we've gone around the outside of the Williams, and that means we're going to have the inside of Verstappen. What a move again! 2 in the same corner. But again, it'll probably see Verstappen fly past him down the straights of the power unit. Verstappen on his backside. Moves to the left hand side, opens his DRS. We've got DRS as well, so it's not going to be as easy as it normally is. And he's going to go down the outside, but I think we're going to go late on the brakes to try and keep it. And just miss the Haas. And we've knocked Verstappen off, and Verstappen has lost the place to the Williams. It's just not been a good day for Max Verstappen. Bit cheeky from us. The Williams dives into pit lane. But Verstappen is not having a good day at all. And he's now going to have Norris on the back of him. And Gasly's in the pit lane. So Gasly had to stop again. They're 2 stopping. And Giovinazzi and the racing points have gone past. So they were 1 stopping and all the leaders were 2 stopping. And Bottas, I think that is, or is it Hamilton? Could be I think it's Lewis Hamilton who's come out just ahead of Verstappen. So they were 2 stopping. So this is not going to be an easy race. Verstappen is now behind Hamilton, who's behind us. So Hamilton's still got a lot of work to do then. Crazy race. Anyway, this is Magnussen, who was chasing Daniel Ricciardo. Obviously Vettel has disappeared. He's up the road, I think. Or he could have stopped. Not quite sure at the moment, we have to wait to find out. There's Vettel. And he's behind Bottas, so I haven't pitted yet, but is Vettel on Bottas. Down along straight we go. Sebastian Vettel will open his DRS. And Bottas is going to get done by the Ferrari power unit. It is so quick in a straight line. And I believe that puts Vettel. He hasn't stopped yet. They could stop on this lap, Vettel and Bottas. Let's see what happens. He's braking. No, he's going to carry on. So Vettel and Bottas lead the race at the moment. Everyone else is stopped. Vettel has a clean track ahead of him. Let's see if he can put some laps in and make some time up on the drivers that are pitted. And there's his teammate Leclerc. So Leclerc hasn't pitted either. So it's Leclerc, Vettel, Bottas, Ricciardo, Hulkenberg who stopped. And then you got the Haas, and then Hamilton, and then us. Hamilton's got past us, predictably. And we've now got Verstappen behind us to deal with again. What a race so far. I still don't know what's going to happen. Hamilton's got some work to do in the closing stages of this race. And it looks like he's already getting on with it. So he's closed up on the Haas very quickly. I wouldn't be surprised to see him fly past him on the way down to the hairpin. And Norris has got Perez. The 2 racing points have pitted as well. And here goes Hamilton, opens his DRS, and he will go past the Haas. And here goes Verstappen again on us. Predictably, the power unit of the Red Bull was just too quick again, and he's passed. And he can chase down the Haas now. So Hamilton passed the Haas, and now Hulkenberg, who's been trying to chase down all race, as now his next target. Bottas and Vettel will pit just a bit later on during the race, and there is Bottas. Ricciardo right on his tail. So Daniel Ricciardo has been chasing the top 6 all day, is now right on the Mercedes tail. I don't know if he's going to have enough pace down the back straight to do anything about it, but he has enough pace to keep with him through this section here. Just look how close he's getting to him. 2 Renaults, 2 Mercedes, Mercedes, Renault, Renault, Mercedes. And into the last sector we go. Is the Renault going to have enough power in a straight line to pass that Mercedes? So onto the straight we go. We're looking behind Ricciardo. We want to be looking forward. And Ricciardo pulls out. He's going to pass Bottas, and Hamilton's going to pass Hulkenberg. Great moves. So it's now Renault, Mercedes, Mercedes, Renault. Although I am pretty sure Bottas and Ricciardo need to pit again. And I think they've both flown into the pits. Yeah, they're both in. You got a lot of people flying into the pits behind us. Yeah, they all come out, and Verstappen is ahead of Ricciardo, who's ahead of Bottas. And then we come out at the back behind the Haas. But a lap later, Ricciardo is back behind Bottas. So Bottas managed to get past during that lap. So poor from Ricciardo, but he's gaining on Bottas again. But I don't think he's going to be quick enough to get back in front. So he had a chance there, got ahead in the pits, and then lost a place on the lap. But there's been loads of pit stops now, so we have to work out the order again. The 1 stoppers weren't 1 stopping, they were 2 stopping. And now look at this, so Norris has come out ahead of us, so we've lost places in the pit stop as well. And Norris will now attack the Haas. Hopefully they'll squabble quite a bit and we can catch up. So round the corner onto the long straight we go. Delicate on the throttle, don't put your foot all the way down until around now. And we've got a front row seat to watch Norris open his DRS. And hopefully, yeah, go to the right, and that should be move done on the Haas of Magnussen. And he's trying to keep around the outside Magnussen, but Norris is through. So good move from Norris. But Magnussen is really close, and you do get DRS down the pit straight. His DRS is now open, and he's getting closer and closer. He's gone down the inside, Magnussen. And I think Norris is going to lose the position again. He's trying to keep it around the outside. Look how close this is. Close racing here. Norris now has the inside line. And that is a good move, and he keeps the position. But Magnussen comes back at him. He's going to try around the outside. Into turn 5. Keeps it around the outside. Unbelievable racing here. And he gets the position back, Magnussen. That's given us a great chance. We're going to keep with them now through the slow section. Into the slow corners, onto the small straight before you go into sector 3. I've got a bit wide there, and Norris is very close indeed. And onto the long straight we go. This is going to be really close between the three of us. We're all going to open our DRS apart from Magnussen. He's going to get swallowed by 2 McLarens here, I think. So, first Norris goes to the inside, so I go to the outside. Breaking into the hairpin. We've both managed to get past the Haas, and I feel we have the inside line as well, and Norris is going to be taken by me as well. Yep. Another 2-car move from me. Brilliant stuff. Okay, so now here's Gasly going up the inside of Butler. He's trying to pierce through the late stoppers now as well. The only reason these cars are in front is because the leaders stopped early, which meant they got caught into the pack. So cars like Devon Butler, who's going back past Gasly, managed to gain quite a bit of time on them. Gasly's going to have to try again. And it's Leclerc on Hulkenberg, following Hamilton through, who's a few corners ahead. Here he is, Lewis Hamilton. So it's now Hamilton first, Leclerc second, Hulkenberg third. I doubt he'll keep that podium though, the rest are coming after him. And here's Gasly again. Who's going to try down the outside this time. It's probably better for him to wait until the long straight, otherwise the racing point's just going to come back at him. But he's done it again, he's gone up the inside, but I just think the racing point will open his DRS again and take the position back. There he goes, but doesn't even have to open the DRS, the Mercedes engine's too powerful. And if you look back a bit, here's Valtteri Bottas on Alexander Albon. And through he goes. Makes that position stick, and here's Gasly again. He's going to wait this time, I think. Yeah, he's not going to get past there, so he should now have the upper hand down the back straight. Again, delicate on the throttle. He's not quite got a powerful engine like the Mercedes, so he won't catch him before the DRS, but he opens his DRS now. And that will be the difference, I think. He'll go down the outside. Is he going to make it, though? The racing point's still with him. He's going to have to go around the outside. He'll get on the power earlier. And side by side as they go into the final corner. Inside line for Gasly. And he's through. Finally gets past the racing point there, Pierre Gasly. And Verstappen's got past as well. And Gasly's still got another one to overtake. This one will be Perez, and he's going to have his teammate on his tail soon as well. Up the inside of Perez into turn 1, a good move there. Verstappen's turn next. And here goes Verstappen on Perez. Job done. So Verstappen, after having a poor race really, has now got a chance of salvation. That's his teammate ahead, and I know if you knew, but Bottas is actually behind both of them and a racing point. Obviously, lost out during the pit stops, but Verstappen and Gasly now are nose to tail. There's only a few laps left. And as we go into the back straight on the penultimate lap, here goes Max Verstappen. He's going to have a chance to pass his teammate now. This will be salvation, I think. And he goes down the inside. Easy move for Verstappen. And Gasly is demoted to 6th. Lock up from Verstappen though, it makes the corner. So Verstappen will be trying to create a gap now as we enter the final lap of the race. Gasly will open his DRS, but I think he's going to be too far. But no, he's not. Gasly up the inside of Verstappen into turn 1. And that's a great move. Verstappen's going to have to do it again in the last lap. And he's going to try it down the inside of turn 2. Great racing here. Gasly nearly turns in on him, but keeps the inside line for turn 3. And Verstappen will hang it around the outside and try to win it on the run down to turn 4. And does it. Keeps the position Verstappen. And they've got one final drive down to the hairpin on the last lap of the race. Hamilton has won the race. The two Red Bulls are fighting over 5th and 6th. Gasly will open his DRS. He is less than a second behind Verstappen. Will he make it? He's just going to be a bit too far back, I think. Yeah, and he's not going to do a dive up the inside on his teammate. So Verstappen should keep his 5th place. And if you look behind, Bottas has managed to clinch 7th. Poor result for him. And the checkered flag waves, and it's 5th and 6th for the Red Bulls. Hamilton is our winner today. Leclerc 2nd, and Sebastian Vettel in 3rd.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
So Hamilton wins for the 2nd race in a row, but there's a Ferrari 2-3 there, which means they'll get more points than the Mercedes. Nico Hülkenberg just missed out on his first podium in the end, finishing 4th. Verstappen recovered from near the back of the pack after the first pit stops to finish 5th, although he started 1st, so that'll be a bit of a downer for him. We end up finishing 12th, which is well outside the points, so I'm a bit disappointed with that, but we finished ahead of our teammate, which is always positive. But Devon Butler and Lucas Weber, our rivals, finished ahead of us. So thanks for watching part 4. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you'll be back for part 5. If you are, I'll see you then. Have a good day, week, month, year. Bye.